7 Wonders of the World. China's Great Wall of Stone. It would be an understatement to simply claim that it was of fine standards. It is commonly believed that the Great Wall of China is approximately 5,500 miles long. However, a controversial Chinese study asserts that the actual length of the wall is 13,170 miles. The Great Wall of China is one of the largest building construction undertakings in the world. The construction work began in the 7th century BCE and continued for a total of 2,000 years after that. In spite of its name, the building is made up of 2 walls that are placed in close proximity to one another and run in a parallel fashion for substantial lengths. In addition to that, the bulwark is peppered with watchtowers and barracks all along its length. The effectiveness of the wall, on the other hand, was a feature that was less than ideal. The major objective of the wall was to thwart assaults and invasions. However, it was only partially successful in this endeavor. Instead, academics have pointed to political propaganda as the major function of the text. Chichén Itzá. The Castillo at Chichén Itzá is a pyramid built in the Toltec architecture that rises 79 feet above the plaza below. Chichén Itzá is located in the state of Yucatan in Mexico. Invaders constructed the pyramid after they had successfully taken control of the ancient Maya metropolis in the 10th century. It was between the years 900 and 1000 CE when the Mayan metropolis of Chichén Itzá, which is located on the Yucatan Peninsula in the country of Mexico today, was at the height of its power and prosperity. During the rule of its people, who were highly inspired by the civilization of the Toltec people, a great number of noteworthy Mayan structures and temples were created. El Castillo, often known as the castle, is a stepped pyramid that rises 79 feet above the main plaza. This structure is one of the more notable examples. The fact that the Mayans were so skilled in astronomy is demonstrated by the fact that the structure contains 365 stairs, one for each day of the solar year. The stone image of a snake's head may be found near the foot of the pyramid. During the spring and fall equinoxes, the setting sun throws shadows on the structure that resemble a serpent sliding down the north stairs. These shadows are only visible when the pyramid is facing west. There was more to life than just toiling away at a desk or doing investigation. Chichén Itzá is home to what is considered to be one of the continent's most impressive tlactlis, which translates to a field used for athletic competition. On one field, the locals would participate in a ritual ball game that was popular throughout pre-Columbian Mesoamerica. The game was played with a ball. Petra, Jordan is a city that dates back centuries and is located in a valley surrounded by cliffs and mountains made of sandstone. According to legend, it was one of the locations where Moses smote a rock, causing water to flow out of it. Later on, an Arab tribe known as the Nabateans declared it their capital. During this period, the city flourished and developed into an important commercial hub, particularly for the trading of spices. The Nabateans, who were known for their skill as carvers, carved homes, temples, and tombs into the sandstone, which altered its color depending on the angle of the sun. In addition to this, they established a water distribution network that made it possible to cultivate luxuriant gardens and land. At the height of its population, it is estimated that Petra was home to 30,000 people. The city, on the other hand, went into decline as a result of the rerouting of trade lines. Petra was progressively deserted after it was struck by a series of devastating earthquakes beginning in the year 363 CE and continuing until the year 551. In spite of the fact that it was rediscovered in 1912, archaeologists did not pay much attention to it until the latter half of the 20th century. To this day, numerous riddles surround it. Machu Picchu. In 1911, American explorer Hiram Bingham found an Incan site close to Cusco, Peru, under the mistaken impression that it was Vilcabamba, a hidden Incan fortress that had been utilized in the 16th century to revolt against Spanish control. In spite of the fact that this hypothesis has been debunked, academics are still perplexed as to the purpose for which Machu Picchu was constructed. Bingham believed that the area was inhabited by virginal women who had taken the vow to be a virgin of the sun and were living in isolated religious groups. Some people believed that it was used as a royal retreat, while others believed that it was a place of pilgrimage. Both of these hypotheses have been put forward as possible explanations. It is hard to imagine a scenario in which it would be appropriate to broadcast an advertising for beer there. When a crane that was being used for an advertisement fell in the year 2000, it caused damage to a historical landmark. It is one of the few large pre-Columbian monuments that was discovered in such perfect form, and Machu Picchu is one of those few. In spite of the fact that it is situated in a very isolated part of the Andes, it is home to agricultural terraces, plazas, neighborhoods, and religious centers. The Redeemer. The colossal statue known as Christ the Redeemer can be found atop Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro. Beginning not long after World War I, when some Brazilians were anxious about a tide of godlessness, it acquired popular support and eventually became the official religion of Brazil. After having their initial idea for the monument accepted, Heitor de Silva Costa, Carlos Oswald, and Paul Landowski were the ones to actually make it. The construction work began in 1926 and continued until 1931, when it was finally finished. The completed structure has a height of 98 feet from the ground up. Lengthwise, its arms span a distance of 92 feet when extended. The largest Art Deco sculpture ever created, setting a new world record. The Christ the Redeemer statue is constructed out of reinforced concrete and has around 6 million tiles covering its surface. Uncomfortably, the statue has been struck by lightning on multiple occasions, the most recent incident occurring in 2014 when the storm severed the tip of Jesus' right thumb. Colosseum. The creation of the Colosseum in Rome is credited to the Emperor Vespasian, who reigned in the 1st century. The amphitheater is a feat of architecture, measuring a staggering 620 by 513 feet, and possessing an elaborate network of vaults across its interior. Inside, there is enough space for as many as 50,000 people to watch a variety of activities. The battles between gladiators were the most well-known, but combat between animals and humans were also common. The Colosseum was also used for reenactments of naval wars, which required the pumping of water into the arena. In spite of this, reports that Christians were martyred there, such as by being thrown to lions, continue to be contested. It is estimated that the Colosseum was responsible for the deaths of approximately 500,000 individuals. It is said that there were so many attempts to capture and kill animals there that it led to the extinction of several species. Taj Mahal is a mausoleum complex located in Agra, India. It is one of the most recognizable buildings in the world and is usually regarded as the best example of Mughal architecture. Emperor Shah Jahan, who reigned from 1628 until 1658, gave the order to build it in 1631, shortly after his wife Mumtaz Mahal, also known as Chosen One of the Palace, passed away during childbirth. After about 22 years of building by 20,000 people, a large garden and reflecting pool were added to the complex after it had been under development for so long. The mausoleum is made of white marble, and it is adorned with floral and geometric motifs that were carved out of semi-precious stones. The main, more imposing dome is surrounded by 4 lesser domes, each of which contributes to the overall magnificence of the monument. According to some reports, Shah Jahan had the intention of having his personal mausoleum built out of black marble. However, one of his sons overthrew him and took control of the company before any building could commence.